Most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. This, my friends, is the heart of Jim Collins' powerful idea. Good is the enemy of great. In today's world, we all want success. Better jobs, better business, better life. But here's the catch. Being good enough is often the biggest barrier to becoming truly great. Because when things are good, we stop trying harder. We get comfortable. And that's exactly where growth ends. Jim Collins and his research team spent 5 years studying 1,435 companies. Out of those, only 11 companies made the leap from good to great and stayed great for at least 15 years. These weren't lucky startups or overnight successes. They were ordinary companies that became extraordinary. So, what made them different? Why did they rise above others who had the same opportunities, same resources, and same industry? Let's find out. Jim Collins didn't start with a theory. He started with a question. Can a good company become a great company? And if so, how? To answer this, his team dug into decades of performance data, leadership styles, management systems, and culture patterns. They compared companies that became great, like Walgreens, Kimberly-Clark, and Wells Fargo, with companies that stayed average, like Eckerd, Scott Paper, and Bank of America. And here's what they found. Greatness is not about luck. It's not about brilliant strategies. It's about discipline, consistency, and leadership character. Most companies don't become great, not because greatness is impossible, but because they settle for good enough. Think about it. When business is okay, no one wants to take risks. When your life is fine, you stop chasing excellence. Comfort slowly kills ambition. Collins says, few people attain great lives, in large part because it is just so easy to settle for a good life. So the real transformation begins the moment we decide that good is no longer good enough. 1. Greatness is a choice, not a chance. Every great company made a conscious decision to go beyond average. 2. Success can become your biggest trap. When you're doing well, you stop questioning how to do better. 3. The journey from good to great starts with dissatisfaction. You must be uncomfortable with good to ever reach great. So here's the million-dollar question. If good is the enemy of great, then who are the people capable of leading that transformation? What kind of leader can take an ordinary team and turn it into something legendary? We'll uncover that in Chapter 2, Level 5 Leadership, where Jim Collins reveals the surprising truth about what real leadership looks like. Stay tuned, because the journey from good to great has just begun. When we think of great leaders, what comes to mind? Big personalities, bold decisions, and loud confidence, right? But Jim Collins' research revealed something shocking. The greatest leaders in history weren't loud. They were quiet. They didn't talk about themselves. They talked about the mission. They weren't famous for charisma. They were famous for results. These are what Collins calls Level 5 leaders. And believe it or not, they are the real reason good companies become great. Jim Collins describes leadership in 5 levels, like a staircase. Level 1, highly capable individual, skilled, talented, hardworking. Level 2, contributing team member, works well with others, helps the team succeed. Level 3, competent manager, organizes people and resources effectively. Level 4, effective leader, inspires people towards a clear vision and success. Level 5, executive. The peak builds enduring greatness through personal humility and professional will. Now here's what's fascinating. Level 5 leaders have a rare mix of two opposite traits. They're humble, yet fiercely determined. They credit others for success, but take full responsibility for failure. They lead quietly, but their impact echoes for decades. Let's take an example from the book. When Darwin E. Smith became CEO of Kimberly-Clark, people thought he was too soft-spoken, too ordinary. The company was struggling, and many doubted his leadership. But Darwin Smith made a bold and risky decision. He sold off the company's old paper mills and invested entirely in consumer paper products like Kleenex and Huggies. Everyone thought he was crazy. Yet, over the next 20 years, Kimberly-Clark outperformed big giants like Procter & Gamble and became the world leader in its category. And when journalists later asked Smith how he managed it, he didn't say, "I," he said, "we." He credited his team, his company, and his people. That's level 5 leadership in action, humility in personality, but absolute strength in purpose. Level 5 leaders are not driven by ego or fame. They are driven by the mission, the company, and the long-term vision. They care more about building something great than about being remembered as great. They see leadership as responsibility, not status. And here's what's truly powerful. Collins found that every single company that made the leap from good to great had a level 5 leader at the top, not one exception. Personal humility. They don't seek the spotlight. They give credit to others. Professional will. They make tough decisions with courage and discipline. Responsibility. When things go wrong, they look in the mirror, not out the window. Long-term thinking. They focus on building something that lasts, not just quarterly profits. Quiet strength. They lead through results, not through noise. Collins found that the world celebrates level 4 leaders, those who are bold, loud, and charismatic. But true greatness doesn't come from personality. It comes from character. In Collins' words, level 5 leaders are a study in duality, modest and willful, humble and fearless. These leaders transform companies, not for fame, but for greatness that lasts long after they're gone. So now that we know who leads a company from good to great, the next big question is, how do these leaders build their dream teams? Because even the strongest leader is nothing without the right people beside them. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the golden rule of success that changed everything. First who, then what. It's not about having the right plan. It's about having the right people on the bus. Stay tuned, because the journey from good to great is about to get even more powerful. Imagine you're the driver of a bus. Everyone's looking at you, waiting for you to say where to go. But Jim Collins says, wait. Before deciding where to drive, you first need to decide who should be on the bus. Because here's the truth. Great vision without great people is useless. So if you want to go from good to great, the first question isn't, what's the plan? It's, who's on my team? Most companies start with a strategy. They ask, what should we do? What product should we make? What's our vision? But the great companies Jim Collins studied did the opposite. They started by getting the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. Only then did they decide where to drive the bus.
Why? Because when you have the right people, you don't need to constantly motivate or manage them. They're self-driven by discipline, passion, and purpose. During his research, Collins found that Wells Fargo became one of the few banks to go from good to great, not because of a fancy plan, but because they focused on people. In the 1970s, when the banking industry was unpredictable, Wells Fargo didn't know what the future would look like. So instead of building a perfect plan, they built a perfect team. They hired the smartest, toughest, and most disciplined people they could find, then gave them the freedom to figure out the best path forward. Years later, when deregulation hit and chaos swept the banking world, Wells Fargo was ready. Why? Because they already had the right people on the bus. Their people didn't need to be told what to do. They figured it out themselves. That's the magic of first who, then what. Collins explains it simply. If you begin with who rather than what, you can more easily adapt to a changing world. Think about it. Plans can fail, markets can shift, technology can change overnight. But great people, they'll adapt, reinvent, and make things work no matter what. So the smartest move a leader can make is to build the right team first. Get the right people on the bus. Don't hire just for skills. Hire for character, values, and self-motivation. Get the wrong people off the bus. Keeping the wrong people drains energy, slows progress, and kills culture. Collins says you can't achieve greatness with passengers who don't belong. Put the right people in the right seats. Even good people fail if they're in the wrong role. Great leaders move people around until everyone's in their best spot. Motivation comes naturally. You don't have to motivate the right people. They already care deeply about their work. Discipline over rules. When you have disciplined people, you don't need tight management. Freedom replaces control. Initiative replaces orders. If you have the right people on the bus, the problem of how to motivate and manage largely goes away. Jim Collins. This one line can change how we think about leadership forever. Because success is not about shouting, forcing, or managing. It's about choosing wisely and trusting deeply. Think about your own journey, whether it's your business, your team, or your life. Who's on your bus right now? Are you surrounded by people who push you forward or hold you back? Because your future isn't decided by your destination. It's decided by who's sitting beside you on the ride. Now that we know the secret of getting the right people on the bus, another question arises. Once you have the right people, how do you decide what direction to take? How do great companies discover that one thing they can be the best in the world at? That's what we'll explore in Chapter 4, Confront the Brutal Facts, Yet Never Lose Faith. A chapter that teaches us how to face reality with courage and clarity. Stay tuned, because the road from good to great is just getting real. There's one thing all great companies and great people have in common. They face reality head on. They don't hide from problems, they don't make excuses, and they don't sugarcoat the truth. Because if you ignore the truth today, it will destroy you tomorrow. Collins calls this principle, confront the brutal facts, yet never lose faith. It's about being brutally honest about your current situation, while still believing deeply that you will prevail in the end. Every company that went from good to great had a moment when things were not going well. They faced crises, competition, and failures, but they didn't deny it. Instead, they confronted those harsh realities directly. They didn't pretend things were fine. They asked hard questions and made tough decisions. But here's the twist. They also never lost faith. Even in their darkest hours, they believed they would come out stronger. That balance between honest realism and unshakable faith is the real foundation of greatness. To explain this mindset, Collins shares a story about Admiral Jim Stockdale, a U.S. Navy officer held captive in Vietnam for 8 years. Stockdale was tortured repeatedly, but never lost hope that he would survive and someday tell his story. When Collins asked him how he managed to stay strong, Stockdale said, "I never lost faith in the end of the story. I never doubted that I would get out and turn this experience into something meaningful." Then Collins asked, "Who didn't make it out?" Stockdale replied, Oh, that's easy. The optimists. They were the ones who said, we'll be out by Christmas. But Christmas came and went, then Easter, then Thanksgiving, and they died of a broken heart. This became known as the Stockdale paradox. You must retain faith that you will prevail in the end, while at the same time confronting the most brutal facts of your current reality. That's exactly what great companies do. In Collins' research, companies like Kimberly-Clark and Wells Fargo became great because they never lied to themselves. They looked at numbers, failures, and threats honestly. They didn't blame luck or the market. They faced the truth. Meanwhile, their comparison companies, the ones that stayed good, often denied problems, made excuses, or relied on false optimism. The difference was simple, but powerful. Great companies look truth in the eye. Create a culture of truth. Great leaders build environments where people feel safe to tell the truth, even bad news. No fear, no punishment, only honesty. Ask hard questions. What's really working and what's not? What are we pretending not to see? What must change, even if it's uncomfortable? Face data, not dreams. Stop guessing. Use facts, feedback, and results to make decisions. Never lose faith. Facing reality doesn't mean giving up hope. It means believing so strongly in your mission that you refuse to be blinded by lies. You must maintain unwavering faith that you can and will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties, and at the same time, have the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. Jim Collins. This quote perfectly captures what separates the good from the great. Ask yourself, when things go wrong in your life or business, do you look for the truth or for comfort? Because greatness starts when you stop running from facts, when you stop saying it'll be fine and start asking, what do I need to fix today? That's how leaders build trust. That's how companies build greatness. So now we know great companies don't hide from reality. They face it with courage and clarity. But here's the next big question. Once you face the truth, how do you find your direction? How do great companies figure out what they should focus on to reach their highest potential? That's exactly what we'll explore in Chapter 5, the hedgehog concept, simplicity within the 3 circles. It's one of the most powerful ideas in business and life that explains how to discover what you can truly be the best in the world at. Stay tuned, because this next chapter might just change how you think about success.
A fox knows many things, but a hedgehog knows one big thing. This old Greek proverb is the foundation of one of Jim Collins' most powerful ideas, the hedgehog concept. Because in business and in life, the fox is clever, fast, and full of ideas, but easily distracted. The hedgehog, on the other hand, is simple and focused. Every time the fox attacks with new tricks, the hedgehog curls up into a ball and wins, every single time. Collins says, great companies are like hedgehogs. They simplify a complex world into one clear concept that guides everything they do. The hedgehog concept means finding that one thing your company, or you, can be the best in the world at, and focusing on it with total clarity and discipline. It's not about chasing opportunities. It's about discovering your sweet spot, the intersection of 3 circles. What you can be the best in the world at, what drives your economic engine, what you are deeply passionate about. Where these 3 circles overlap, that's your hedgehog concept. Let's break them down. 1. What you can be the best in the world at. This doesn't mean what you want to be the best at, it means what you truly could be. What are we naturally great at? What can we do better than anyone else? What should we not do because we can't be the best at it? Example, Walgreens realized they could never be the best at fancy retail, but they could be the best at convenience, making it easy for customers to get what they needed quickly. So they focused completely on convenience and built stores everywhere, even on the same block. Result? Walgreens became a national leader and massively outperformed its competitors. 2. What drives your economic engine? This is about understanding what truly makes you money. Every great company has a profit per X, a single financial measure that drives success. For example, Walgreens focused on profit per customer visit. A newspaper might focus on profit per reader. A university might focus on impact per student. Find the one number that fuels your engine, then align every decision to improve it. 3. What you are deeply passionate about. Finally, passion. You can't become great at something you don't love deeply. What work makes us come alive? What impact do we truly care about? What would we keep doing even if we weren't paid for it? Greatness requires heart, not just skill or money. If you chase only profit, you'll burn out. If you chase only passion without strategy, you'll fail. But when passion, strength, and profit align, that's when magic happens. The fox is always chasing new ideas, new markets, new strategies, but the hedgehog focuses on one clear thing. It's not that hedgehogs are smarter, they're more disciplined. They know what matters most and ignore everything else. Jim Collins says, once you understand your hedgehog concept, all your decisions become simple. Not easy, but simple. Remember Darwin Smith, the humble CEO of Kimberly-Clark from Chapter 2? Here's where his genius showed. He realized that Kimberly-Clark could not be the best at making paper, but it could be the best at creating consumer paper products like Kleenex and Huggies. So he sold the company's traditional paper mills and went all in on consumer brands. That bold focus, based on the hedgehog concept, transformed Kimberly-Clark into an industry leader. Smith didn't follow trends, he followed clarity. Focus beats flexibility. Greatness comes from clarity, not constant change. Say no more often. Every yes that doesn't fit your hedgehog concept steals energy from what truly matters. Clarity comes through honest reflection. It might take years to discover your true hedgehog concept, but once you do, everything aligns. The simpler, the better. Complexity confuses. Simplicity creates momentum. The essence of profound insight is simplicity. Jim Collins. Great companies think simple. They know exactly who they are and what they stand for, and they never drift from it. So ask yourself, what's your hedgehog concept? What's that one thing you can be the best in the world at that lights you up and sustains your future? Because greatness doesn't come from doing more things. It comes from doing the right thing deeply and consistently. Now that we know how great companies find their true focus, the next question is, how do they maintain discipline to stick with it, even when distractions or trends tempt them away? That's what we'll explore in Chapter 6, A Culture of Discipline, a chapter that reveals how freedom and discipline, when combined, create unstoppable success. Stay tuned because the next step from good to great will teach you the real secret of lasting excellence. What's more important, freedom or discipline? Most people think these two can't exist together. They believe discipline means rules, control, and rigidity, while freedom means creativity and flexibility. But Jim Collins discovered something surprising. Great companies combine both. They create a culture of discipline where people have the freedom to act, but within a clear, disciplined framework that keeps everyone aligned. This balance, Collins says, is what separates good companies from great ones. A culture of discipline means having disciplined people, disciplined thought, and disciplined action. When you have these three, you don't need tight control, micromanagement, or endless bureaucracy. People know what to do, why they're doing it, and they do it with responsibility and passion. That's the beauty of discipline. It doesn't limit freedom, it empowers it. In his research, Jim Collins found that Wells Fargo became great not through flashy marketing or luck, but through disciplined focus. When deregulation hit the banking industry, many banks went wild, chasing every new opportunity they saw. But Wells Fargo's leaders stayed calm. They cut unnecessary branches, improved efficiency, and focused on only what fit their hedgehog concept: disciplined growth and profitability. No distractions, no chaos, just clear, consistent action. And guess what? They not only survived the turbulence, they thrived, outperforming their competitors for years. That's the power of discipline. 1. Disciplined people. Collins says, when you have the right people on the bus, you don't need to manage them tightly. Disciplined people take responsibility naturally. They don't wait for instructions, they do what needs to be done. They are self-motivated, accountable, and driven by purpose. 2. Disciplined thought. Great companies face the truth, remember chapter 4, but they also think within their hedgehog concept. They say no to everything that doesn't fit. They stay laser-focused on what they can be the best at. 3. Disciplined action. Discipline means consistency. It's doing the right thing every single day, even when no one's watching. It's not about short-term excitement. It's about long-term excellence. Collins explains this beautifully. In a culture of discipline, people don't need rules because they own their responsibilities. Leaders give freedom, but within a clear set of values and goals. It's not chaos, it's controlled creativity. Example, Nucor Steel, one of the great companies in the study, gave factory workers full autonomy to make decisions on the floor. But every worker was expected to perform at world-class levels. No excuses, no micromanagement, just freedom plus accountability. That's the formula. One of the most powerful insights from this chapter: great companies don't just have to-do lists, they have stop-doing lists. They stop doing anything that doesn't align with their core mission. They say no to distractions, even if those distractions look profitable in the short term. Because every minute you spend on something unimportant steals time from what truly matters. Discipline isn't just about doing more, it's about doing less, better. A culture of discipline is not a principle of business, it is a principle of greatness. Jim Collins. When you combine a culture of discipline with an ethic of entrepreneurship, you get the magical alchemy of great performance. That's the secret. Discipline creates consistency, and consistency creates greatness. Think about your own life or work. Do you have discipline? Or are you constantly reacting to whatever comes your way? Do you stick to what truly matters or chase every new shiny opportunity? Because success isn't built on doing everything. It's built on doing the right things with unshakable consistency. Now we know, greatness is not luck or talent. It's built brick by brick through disciplined people, disciplined thought, and disciplined action. But here's the next big question. How do great companies use technology to accelerate their success without becoming slaves to it? Because while most companies chase every new tech trend, great companies use technology strategically as a tool, not a crutch. That's exactly what we'll uncover in Chapter 7, Technology Accelerators. It's a game-changing insight into how technology can multiply greatness if you use it the right way. Let's be honest. In today's world, everyone thinks technology is the secret to success. We're told that if we just adopt the newest app, system, or AI, our business will skyrocket. But Jim Collins discovered something shocking. Technology by itself does not make a company great. It can help you move faster, but if you're headed in the wrong direction, technology just helps you fail faster. In this chapter, Collins explains how great companies use technology differently. They don't chase trends. They don't panic about being left behind. Instead, they use technology as an accelerator, not as a creator of momentum. Collins found that every good to great company used technology as a tool to enhance their hedgehog concept, not as a replacement for it. They didn't adopt tech just because it was cool or new. They adopted only when it fit their purpose and made them better at what they were already best at. In short, technology accelerates greatness. It doesn't cause it. Let's look at one of the best examples, Walgreens. When online shopping and e-commerce started growing, most retail companies panicked. Many rushed into the online world without a plan, just to look modern. But Walgreens didn't. They asked a simple question: how can technology help us serve our customers better and faster? So instead of building a fancy website first, they focused on online prescription refills and store locators, something that directly connected to their hedgehog concept: convenience. That's it. No tech overload, no random apps, just one clear, focused use of technology to strengthen what they already did best. Result? Walgreens thrived, both online and offline, while competitors who chased every new trend disappeared. According to Jim Collins, great companies do 3 key things when it comes to technology. They stay calm when new technology appears. They don't jump in out of fear or hype. They experiment and adopt selectively. They only use tech that supports their hedgehog concept. And they use technology as an accelerator, not as a direction. It makes them faster and more efficient, but it doesn't decide where they're going. The comparison companies in Collins' study often panicked when new tech emerged. They tried to copy competitors, rushed into digital trends, and made massive changes without understanding why. They confused movement with progress. They thought technology could save them from poor strategy or weak leadership, but it never did. That's why Jim Collins warns: technology cannot turn a good enterprise into a great one, but it can accelerate a great one into becoming even greater. Technology is like fire. If you control it, it cooks your food. If you lose control, it burns your house down. So the question is not, what's the newest technology? The question is, how can this technology help us become even better at what we already do best? Collins also connects this to leadership philosophy. Great leaders never see technology as a miracle solution. They keep faith in their vision and discipline, and then use technology as a tool to enhance their mission. For them, technology is not the answer. It's just part of the journey. This principle applies even more today in the world of AI, social media, and digital trends. Everyone's chasing the next big thing, but greatness doesn't come from being first with technology. It comes from being right with technology. Use it with purpose, align it with your mission, and let it accelerate your progress, not distract you from it. Technology is never the primary cause of either greatness or decline. It's your people, your purpose, and your discipline that make you great. Technology simply helps you shine brighter. Think about your own journey. Are you chasing every new trend, every new tool, hoping it will change everything? Or are you building something solid first, and then using technology to make it even better? Because the difference between good and great isn't in the tool, it's in the user. Now that we've learned how great companies use technology wisely, there's still one final piece to completing the puzzle of greatness. Once you've built momentum, how do you keep it going forever? How do great companies sustain success year after year without losing energy or focus? That's what we'll uncover in Chapter 8, The Flywheel and the Doom Loop. It's one of the most powerful chapters of Good to Great. showing how small, consistent actions create unstoppable momentum. What if I told you the difference between success and failure isn't one big move? It's the small, consistent pushes you make every single day. Jim Collins discovered that great companies don't turn great overnight. There's no one big moment, no lucky break, no instant success. Instead, greatness is built slowly, like pushing a massive flywheel. At first, it barely moves. But with every push, it starts to gain momentum. Push after push, turn after turn, until one day, it's spinning so fast that nothing can stop it. That's the flywheel effect, and it's how good companies become great. Imagine a giant, heavy steel wheel, massive and difficult to move.
Your first push barely makes it budge. You push again. It moves a little more. You keep pushing, slowly, steadily, consistently. And then something magical happens. It begins to spin on its own momentum. Each push builds on the energy of the last one. This is what Collins found in every good to great company. They didn't have a single defining moment of transformation. They built greatness step by step, decision by decision, action by action, over time. Walgreens didn't suddenly wake up one morning and become the best. They built momentum slowly, one disciplined action at a time. First, they focused on convenience. Then they refined their store locations. Then they integrated technology to make refills easier. Every small step built upon the previous one, until the flywheel started spinning faster and faster. When the momentum finally hit, success looked instant to outsiders. But insiders knew it was years of consistent effort that made it happen. That's the flywheel effect, in action. Now, let's talk about the dark side, the doom loop. This is what happens to companies that lack discipline and patience. They're always chasing quick fixes, big moves, or magical solutions. One year they launch a new product. Next year they rebrand. Then they switch leadership. Then they change strategy again. No consistency, no compounding effect. They keep starting over, never long enough to build real momentum. Each new revolutionary idea destroys the progress made before. That's the doom loop. Endless motion, zero momentum. Collins noticed something striking. Great companies rarely announced they were going to be great. There were no loud slogans, no bold PR campaigns, no big turnaround declarations. They simply worked quietly, building momentum behind the scenes. By the time the world noticed, they were already great, because the flywheel was spinning at full speed. Meanwhile, average companies kept talking about change, but never stuck with anything long enough to see results. This chapter teaches one of the most powerful truths of life. Consistency beats intensity. It's not one massive effort that creates success, it's thousands of small, consistent efforts that add up. Just like the gym, you can't build strength in one session. You build it over time, one workout after another. Business works the same way. Personal growth works the same way. Even relationships work the same way. It's the flywheel effect. Steady, focused progress that eventually becomes unstoppable. There is no single defining action, no grand program, no one killer innovation, no solitary lucky break, no miracle moment. Jim Collins. And yet, when you finally see success, it looks inevitable in hindsight. That's the power of momentum. Ask yourself this: are you pushing your flywheel, or are you stuck in the doom loop? Are you building something steadily with clear purpose and direction? Or are you restarting every few months, chasing the next big thing? Because consistency builds energy, and energy over time creates unstoppable force. That's how greatness is born. Now we know greatness is not one big leap, it's the sum of 1,000 small steps. But Jim Collins ends his research with one final mystery. Can these principles last forever? Even after the original leaders are gone, even after decades, can a great company stay great? That's the question answered in the final chapter, Chapter 9, From Good to Great, to built to last. It's about how to create greatness that outlives you. We've learned how great companies are built through discipline, focus, and momentum. But here's the final and most important question. Once you become great, how do you stay great? How do you create something that lasts beyond your leadership, beyond your lifetime, something that becomes a legacy? That's exactly what Jim Collins explores in the final chapter, From Good to Great to Built to Last. It's about transforming success into sustainability. Jim Collins explains that Good to Great was actually the prequel to his earlier book, Built to Last. Good to Great shows how to go from average to exceptional. Built to Last shows how to keep that greatness alive, forever. The companies that truly last are those that don't just focus on short-term profits or flashy results. They focus on building a timeless purpose, a set of values, and a culture that survives even after the founders are gone. In other words, great companies don't just chase success, they build systems of greatness. When a company moves from good to great, it builds a strong engine, the hedgehog concept, discipline, and momentum. But when it becomes built to last, it does something even more powerful. It creates core values and purpose so strong that even when leadership changes, the vision continues. Think of it like this. Good to great is about momentum. Built to last is about immortality. This is one of Collins' most profound lessons. He says every long-lasting company does two things at once: preserves the core, their purpose, values, and beliefs never change, stimulates progress. They constantly adapt, innovate, and improve everything else. Example, take Walt Disney. Their core, to make people happy, never changed. But how they did it evolved from animated films to theme parks to streaming platforms. That's what keeps them alive across generations. Collins uses a brilliant metaphor. Some leaders are time tellers. They can give you the right answer, make the right decision, or inspire short-term success. But truly great leaders are clock builders. They build an organization that can tell time on its own, even when they're gone. A time teller creates success that ends with them. A clock builder creates a system of success that lasts forever. So ask yourself, are you trying to be the hero of your story, or the architect of something that will outlive you? Every built-to-last company had a purpose beyond making money. Money was the result, not the reason. Their core ideology was emotional, human, and deeply meaningful. For example, Johnson & Johnson, to alleviate pain and disease. Sony, to elevate Japan's culture and spirit. Hewlett-Packard, to make technical contributions for the advancement of humanity. These missions inspired people. They gave meaning to work, and that's why they lasted. Jim Collins says, Level 5 leaders don't build their egos, they build their organizations. They don't want to be remembered for who they were, they want to be remembered for what they built. Their goal isn't to be famous, it's to create something so strong that it doesn't need them anymore. That's real leadership. Enduring great companies preserve their core purpose and values, while their business strategies and operating practices endlessly adapt to a changing world. In other words, evolve everything except your soul. So, what does good to great teach us in the end? That greatness isn't luck. It's not about charisma, luck, or timing. It's about building habits, systems, and values that stay true, no matter what changes around you. Whether it's your business, your career, or your personal life, true greatness comes when you build something that stands the test of time.
So here's where Jim Collins leaves us. You now know how to become great and how to stay great. But the ultimate question is, will you use these principles just to improve your life or to create something that outlives you? Because in the end, greatness isn't about what you achieve. It's about what you leave behind. Jim Collins reminds us, greatness isn't a one-time act. It's a lifetime habit. It's not about sudden luck or genius. It's about showing up every day, pushing your flywheel, doing what matters, even when no one's watching. The difference between good and great is often invisible. But over time, those small decisions, those tiny acts of discipline,
They build a life, a company, a legacy that cannot be broken. So now, let's bring this home. What about you? Maybe you're running a business. Maybe you're working on your career. Maybe you're building yourself. The truth is, these principles apply everywhere. Because the journey from good to great is not just for companies, it's for human beings. Each of us has a flywheel inside. Our habits, our mindset, our purpose. And every small action we take spins it faster. You don't need luck. You don't need to wait for the right time. You just need to decide today to stop being good and start becoming great. If you felt inspired by this journey through good to great, then remember, your path to greatness starts right now. Be the level 5 leader of your own life. Face your truth, focus your purpose, and keep pushing your flywheel. Because one day, you'll look back and realize it wasn't one big leap that changed everything. It was the thousands of small, disciplined steps you took along the way. And here's something to think about before you go. Jim Collins' next book, Built to Last, explores how legendary companies like Disney, 3M, and HP managed to keep their greatness alive for decades. What secrets make some companies last 100 years while others fade away? That's exactly what we'll uncover in the next summary. So make sure you hit subscribe, stay motivated, and keep building your own greatness, one push at a time.